that helps in APC conduct all the activities like placement talks, like pre-placement talks. Companies come beforehand for the pre-placement talk. Like we mostly give pre-placement talk to day 1 to 4 companies because we don't have ample of time. We have tests and all, so we have less slots, so that we only give the PPT or what called pre-placement talk to some of the companies. So to conduct that, like a huge pool of students come for the talk, and also incentive points are given for the pre-placement talks. So we need volunteers, right? So actually we have to recruit INCs. So under each APC last year there were almost 15 INCs, right? So more than 200 INCs were there across the institute. So for recruitment of INCs, the INC recruitment team is formed. Last year, two people were there in the team, me and Abhay Kinagi was there. So basically, what the teamwork is, we have to create basically a form, and then through placement in charge, the professor, he forwards the mail to the whole institute, and then everybody, not from the freshie first year, uh, and not from the final years. Apart from that, everyone can fill the form for INC. Like MTechs can also fill, but BTech first year cannot fill the form of INC. So after that, INC, like they give SOPs and all. So you just have to filter out of those SOPs, like which ones you will take and who will work with you. So after this, your team is formed, and you assign each APC 15. There are 15 INCs, and they are randomly given to each APC. Not like my branch students will be given to me and all. Uh, Also, you can recommend your friends. Like if you become an APC, you can recommend your friends to be an INC because they will help you, and like you can call, rely on them, and call them like, भाई आज ये है तो आ सकता है क्या? So he'll come, right? So basically, it's all about bonding, right? तो मोस्टली आईएनसी से मतलब अच्छे अगर आपके रिलेशंस है, एनीबडी हु इज नॉट कंफर्टेबल इन हिंदी, प्लीज कैन यू रिस्पॉन्ड? ओके, so if like if I want to call someone for volunteering, so he must like get something from me, right? Like he has to trust me. Why I should come for that? So basically, we have to create a bond with people, with our group, our 15 INCs. Also, there was not actually requirement of 15 people because one cannot handle a team of 15, and because he will have more tasks to handle companies and all. Uh, when time comes, APC will be there, but sometimes APC is not there and their INCs only work at the ground level. So you have to create a good bonding, and you have to constantly meet your INCs so that they will help you when the time comes. Also, from day 1 to 4, INC are most crucial. Like if someone's INC don't come in some test or some pre-placement talk, it's fine. But from day 1 to 4, like from on day of placements 1 to 15, you need INCs definitely because they will play the most crucial parts. Sometimes, like if you are handling 4 companies in a day, right? So you can only handle one company who will handle all the other 3 companies. So your INCs will be there to help you out on that day, right? And now for the like this is for the INC recruitment team. Anybody of you have questions regarding this team? Anything?
Hello, Yogesh.
Huh?
अभिषेक हियर एक्चुअली आई गॉट अ क्वेश्चन कि जो आईएनसीज होता है वो भी एक पोजीशन ऑफ रिस्पांसिबिलिटी पीओआर होता है क्या?
Huh? INC is a PR, official PR. INC you can put it in your resumes. INC is an official PR.
Okay. And just in worst case कि the group of INCs which a particular APC gets and like out of 15 like 12 13 are not working, then what all things are happening with them
Okay,
with
so
them?
basically, if you have to write INC point in your resume, like if my INCs were there, right? So we had tests, like we had attendance for the INCs. Like someone only came for one. If he was selected based on the SOP, then he only shows up for one test, and he doesn't come at all during day 1 to 4 and all. So like the placement managers release a list that whom you want to reject from your INC list. So the people who don't work are rejected at last, basically.
Mm. Could you share your experience with like any such INC during your tenure?
Okay, so my INCs were good. Like I created a good bond. We also went to Gullu for coffee, and also we had online meet with the INCs to chat like how we will do the logistics and how will the test go on. Also during the test, we had talks, and also some of the INCs are introduced to the HRs also. So they also like get to know how to talk to people and all, right? Uh, More of that, not much. It was not much experience. It was good, like basically.
Mm. Okay. Like any such experience from other APC in your team, like
Okay, some APCs had like retention was not good. Some APCs INCs were like some the INCs of other APCs. Out of 15, 6 to 7 didn't show up, so they faced problems. So for that, what happened? Like the whole team, basically, like most of the APCs faced this problem. So we had to recruit INCs in the second phase also. Like phase one recruitment of INCs was done around October. Then around November second last week or mid November, we recruited another set of INCs for us, like some INCs. In the first phase, around 270 INCs were recruited, and in the second phase, around again around 100 were recruited because like the people were leaving out due to pressure.
okay, thank you.
That was all for INC team. Now, like, can I go to the Skynet team or someone has a question?
Like one more question, like you had mentioned for that recruitment process. So it's just a submission of SOP, or is there any sort of interview also for them?
No, no, INC has no interview. It's just submission of SOP. Got your answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we will start for the Skynet team. What time in phase one INCs are selected? In like INCs are selected on in only placement phase one. Like I told about two phases. So the two phases were two phases of INC recruitment. First phase of INC recruitment was around October. Then second phase of INC recruitment was around mid-November. Is it clear now? Harshal, I think. Okay. So now going for the Skynet team. Skynet is basically a software which the placement team uses to schedule interviews. Like there are around 2000, like we are around 2200 people sitting for the placements, right? So on a single day, if 25 companies come in a single slot on day one, first slot, we may assume 25 company comes. So for these 25 companies, there are more than 400 interviews, right? So for these interviews, we have to schedule them such, like if I have interview in company A, then I should not have the interview in company B at the same time. No overlap should be there. So for this purpose, Skynet is used. Also, one of the main purpose of Skynet is to maintain clarity, like no biasness is there. So how Skynet clears it is it randomly schedules all the interviews on that day, and then it gives us a list that whose interviews at which time, right? Any doubt till now?
Um, so it's like Sky, as you mentioned for Skynet. Then what about the if particular company, particular person is selected for the uh, companies and priority changes for him?
Okay. So priority is based on preference form is floated. Like if day one is there, so a day before day one, if they like your interviews on December 1, so on November 30th, you receive a preference form in which you fill companies according to you. Like if my preference is Google and Microsoft, so I will fill which one I will choose if I get selected. So if I get selected for two companies also like Microsoft and Google, then I will be given Microsoft if my preference was Microsoft, right? So the preference form is floated, but the interviews are not scheduled according to the student preferences. because overlapping cannot justify like you have to go first or second, right? So mostly the overlaps are handled by the software itself. So what do we feed into Skynet? Skynet basically takes two types of data. One is static and other is dynamic, right? So under static data, there is a data of students, the volunteers which are handling, that is APCs and ICs, internship coordinators. Uh, Guys, you all should know that ICs, which are internship coordinators, help us through day 1 to 15, day 1 to 15 in the placements, right? So in Skynet, we APCs and ICs and student data. This data will never change. Like the students will never change who will sit for the companies. The coordinates will also not change. So this data is called static data, which we don't have to change again and again. And the second type of data which comes is called dynamic data, and that is the company information for a particular slot, the number of shortlisted people, and who is sitting for which company, right? So dynamic data changes in each slot, because in each slot a different companies will come, and each company will also have different student map to it, who will give interview in that slot, right? Also, Skynet gives you many features to schedule the interviews, to reschedule the interviews also. Like if a company is coming late, like your slot was from 7 to 3, and if a company is coming from 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., so it has a delay option. You can add delay to the company and then reschedule the whole schedule, so that that company's interview will go on from that time, which was told by him. Also, apart from many of the features of Skynet, one of the features is also adding a panel. Like if the company is having two panels of technical and two panels of HR, but now they are seeing that the technical is taking more time, so they can add more panel. Like let's say they will say you that Yogesh, we are bringing two more panels, so schedule it accordingly. So we can also add more panels and then reschedule it whole, so that students are accommodated, right? Also, one of the most important thing for Skynet is like we have to get company shortlist beforehand, before the slot. Like if day one is starting at 7 a.m., then at 5 a.m. the schedule must be created, and before 5 a.m. we need all the company shortlist which are coming before 5 a.m. Because if we don't feed a single company Skynet, then if I have an interview in company A, and if I am not scheduled for that company, like if that company shortlist is not updated on the blog or on Skynet, then my interview may overlap, because the company is definitely going to come, but they have not given you shortlist. So the major problems some of our APCs faced were they were not able to get the shortlist for some day two companies, which create a chaos, and due to which Skynet also faced problem on day two majorly, day 2 of December, second day of December. You can also write this point in your doc, I think. You all need to create a doc, I think, right? Okay, some doubts till now?
Yeah.
Anybody?
How does like the is the company getting to know about Skynet and all? Like for example, we get to know that some kind of delay is there. Like how is the company actually called, knowing that next person will be this, or does the company also have what to say their
Okay.
interview
So
schedule?
for the company, like ICs, I told about now, ICs internship coordinator. Like each company is assigned to the IC, not an APC. On day 1 to 4, each company is assigned to IC, and IC along with 3 to 4 INC handle single company. And the company doesn't get access to the Skynet, but the volunteers which are there, they can access Skynet, and they tell the company that who is coming next for the interviews. So if a company's interview are going in 3 rooms, so the INCs and IC who are handling the company, they tell the HRs and all, they coordinate with them that this person is coming to you next, right? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Some more questions?
Yes, Yogesh, one question.
Okay.
Uh, just in case, taking the example like a certain company selected the student, and the next company, when it comes, like the shortlisted students are already selected, then in that situation, what you people do?
Okay, so actually, how the placements in IIT Bombay work, like if in slot one, 25 companies are there, I am sitting for three companies, let's say Microsoft, Google, and Apple. So if I'm selected in Microsoft, they don't tell me in the interview. Our policy is not such that they give in-hand offer at that particular time. All offers are released after the end of the slot. I can tell more about offer letter tracking team is created. So what does
Mhm.
offer letter tracking team does? Like they track all the offers along the company. Like if the slot from 7 to 3 is there, right? So Abhishek, about your doubt
Yes.
first, I should clear that. Like if I'm selected in Microsoft, they will not tell me I'm selected. I will also give in my interview in Google and Apple, and they will also not tell me which whether I'm selected or not. And when I'll come to know this after 3 p.m., the company uh, is given an envelope by the offer letter tracking team. Then they write the selected people's name in the envelope. Then this envelope goes through the offer letter tracking team to the placement office. And in the placement office, according to your preference, which you have filled apart from this Apple, Google, and Microsoft, you will be given your preferred company if you are selected in all the three. So in-hand offers are not like this Abhishek. Got it?
Actually, I'm taking the other case. That was not the thing. I was like, we know at the end of first slot, they will declare the name of students and they will
Okay.
retain them from participating for further rounds.
Okay.
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 My doubt is just in case, like there is a company which will be coming on the fourth day, day four. Okay,
Ah,
and there is certain company, let's assume XYZ random. Okay, and all
okay.
the 20 shortlists were there. Out of 20, it's like nearly 15 or 16 students already got in the three
Okay.
days of placement. Okay, and the
Ah,
final day
got
of
it out. Got it out.
uh,
From shortlist, like some people are placed. Like day four
uh,
test was done, and they shortlisted people who are also placed on day one. So their shortlist is exhausted, right? Is
uh,
it your doubt? So for such
exactly.
cases, like a company is like, let's take an example. A company is coming on day four, and their shortlist has 20 people. But now some of the people are placed. 15 people are, let's say, placed from day 1 to 3, and now they only have 5 people. So in most of the cases, if the company is day four, day five, and all of these, we tell them, please give us a extended shortlist or a wait list, which we can accommodate when your people who are shortlisted, if they definitely will get paid. We'll tell them that you are given such and such day, day four, day five, anything, and the people who are selected will get paid uh, eventually. So please give us a long shortlist or extended shortlist or a wait list, which we can accommodate later on. And definitely the people will be removed from the shortlist who are placed. Okay, Abhishek?
And will this information be shared with the recruiters that this many students are
Yes.
already placed?
Yes. This information is shared with recruiters because they will think, nah, like if
Uh-huh.
Abhishek is there, he will come for interview or not. So we
Mm-hmm.
definitely told them. We sent a list that these people from your shortlist are already
Uh-huh.
got placed. So please remove them, and if you have some extended shortlist or so, please give us that. We'll accommodate accordingly.
Okay. And this won't be leading to like uh, uh, having some bad impact on the relationship with IIT
No.
Bombay and
This
nothing.
doesn't impact at all. We mostly tell them before and early. Like if you are
Okay.
coming on day four and you are
Uh,
shortlisting is like, so your shortlist is too small, your people will get definitely exhausted. We tell them beforehand, and
okay.
they know that. Like
Okay.
definitely, if we are coming on day four in IIT Bombay, then the shortlist must exist. Some
Okay.
of the people get
Along.
already get.
Okay. Sorry for more questions. Like along with JAP, like do we have any sort of agreements like where all the rules and regulations for this thing is mentioned, or is mentioned itself in JAB? The
In
policy, placement policy thing.
Okay, I think policy has something like which the rules you need to think.
Just in case the recent rule which you are told that if students get recruited from your selected list before the day of
Okay,
recruitment.
so basically there is also like student policy is there on the placement model. There is also recruiters policy, which we give to the
Okay.
recruiters, in which we tell them
Hmm.
that you can't give offers on in-place offers, like at the time of interviews. You can't give offers like that. You have to give offers after 3 p.m. and all. Everything is written in the recruiters policy. I think you will not have the access to the recruiters policy. That's not important at all, like for now. if you become an APC and all, you will get to know what's the recruiter's policy and all. So along with the envelope in which they write offers, we also give them recruiter's policy and some stationery. Uh,
Okay.
Basically, the
It's
logistic.
welcome kit.
Welcome kit. It's called welcome kit.
Uh,
Okay, I think you had a ground with the logistics team.
Hi, Yogesh. I had a question.
Okay.
So Skynet we use beyond day 4 as well, right? For day 5 to
Yes, yes.
15 as well.
We can like we have used it on day 6 also.
Yeah. What happens when companies open up walk-in interviews as well, and then there's so much like it's all
Okay.
hectic.
So for walk-in interviews, Skynet is not used because walk-ins are too dynamic and we don't know who will be shortlisted for this purpose. Also to mention, Skynet has one more feature to extend the shortlist. Like if 10 people were there and we have to add more people to the shortlist, we can easily extend it through the software, and it has a good UI, basically usable for all. Also, Ame, is your doubt clear?
Yeah, and I had another question. You said
Huh.
that you had to like if a company starts at interviews at 7 o'clock, you have to have the whole schedule ready by 5 o'clock. So if the extended schedule is, if the extended shortlist is posted very soon, so how long would it take for you to sort of schedule
We
the?
can easily sort it like if the extended shortlist come half hour before also, then we can accommodate it. But for a safe side, we have to post the schedule because students can also see the schedule on the Skynet. Student also has Skynet. Uh, Also to mention, a year before this, student also had ringers in their phone. Like if I'm using Skynet, if a volunteer is there to call him, the volunteer ringed, like press the ringer button, due to which a student got the beep, and that beep reminded him that you have an interview at this place and this company. So last year
So
we
does
removed
that
this
not
feature.
happen?
Yes,
Okay,
what?
I was just asking that does that not happen anymore?
No. So last year we removed that feature because it was becoming obsolete, and also some people didn't even get the ringer because Skynet mostly worked in the browsers, and some people had extensions and all installed, and some things happened. Some phones didn't allow the permission, like Android permission and all. New versions came, so they couldn't make the app such compatible that it works in all devices. So some people received the ringer, some didn't. Some people even ignored the ringer, and some like everybody who is sitting for the placement have runners. So some people's runners have their phone. So it created a lot of problems. So last year we removed the ringer. So apart from in place of ringer, the INCs who are handling the companies called everyone. Like if someone has an interview, they'll call him. Also, students can see on the app too that where he has the interview currently. But then too,
So
if
that
he
means
knows, then too the volunteer calls him.
right, but that also means that INCs have a lot more work to do as such compared to when it was just ringers, right? So does that mean that you have to interview more INCs, like recruit more INCs as such?
Please, can you pardon? I didn't get it.
Okay, so since you are not now calling every individual, that also means
Okay.
that INCs would have to place the call. It will have to be
Yes, yes.
answered. It's going to take a lot of time. So a
Yes.
particular, like a single INC is going to be a lot more busy. Does that mean you'd have to recruit more INCs to have the same amount
Huh,
of work?
so basically, one company is not given to single INC. There are 3 to 4 INCs and also an IC who is handling all the 4 INCs also, and also the company. So they didn't have to call that much people because most of the people show up. Like they will be on the gate. You just have to call the name and they'll come. Like if my interview is there, why will I not come? But most of the time they are not at the place. Like if my is on fifth floor and also on seventh floor, so I will be on fifth or seventh, right? So my runner will be mostly will be there on the other floor, or also my friend or someone will be there, and they don't have to make much calls. Like if 20 people are there, so they have to call 10 people. If 20 people shortlist is there, so around 10 average, in average, you have to call 10 people. And it's easily handled if you have 4 INCs or 3 INCs in a single company.
uh,
Okay.
Yogesh.
Yes.
How reliable is Skynet?
How reliable we can tell, like if the shortlist and all is in our end, like if the shortlist come to us
Huh.
beforehand and for each company and everything, so Skynet is reliable. Like last
Okay.
to last year, there was heavy server load on Skynet, but this time they increased their servers also. Like
Uh-huh.
we give a lot of money to Skynet for this purpose, so
Okay.
they have created it well. And this year the load was too much, but then too it handled. It never crashed. It never crashed till now. But
Okay.
if the shortlist doesn't come and
Uh,
the IRF is basically interview requirement form,
a requirement
which the,
form.
which company fills before
Huh.
coming, that this many panels are coming. This will be a time of single interview, and for this long the interviews go on. If this all information is available with an APC for all his companies a particular slot, then Skynet will definitely work for that slot. No,
Okay.
not at all any problem.
Fine. In
Also,
case of emergency, do we have some backups for instead of Skynet?
okay, so I was coming on that for backups. Like if eventually you are not got shortlist for all companies and some companies are overlapping and so ICs basically handle the internship session in which they handle mostly it with Excel sheets. So you should have, like your team should have Excel sheets created beforehand, so that if something happens, you have the access to the those sheet and you can change the states of people in that. Like if he's in interview or he is not, like that. Also, Skynet has 3 to 4 states. Like you can accommodate it talking to their team. Like the 3 states are mostly like he is on the venue. Like if students is there, students 3 states are there. Uh, on venue, in interview, and then out. In, out, and on venue you can do it like that. So if someone is in the interview, you can change the state to in interview, and then if he has given the interview, you can change it to out. So if a particular volunteer has done some in interview for someone, so every volunteer can see that this person is in interview, and then he will not call him because he is in interview. And if he's out, then anyone can call him. So it is visible to everyone along the team. So this is what Skynet does.
Thank you so much.
Also, we have to retain rooms for INCs. Mostly last year, the rooms for some INCs were retained. I don't know, like this year they will be retained or not. Mostly they are retained. Rooms are retained for INCs.
Yogi.
Do we have moved outs, guys?
Hello.
Also to mention for
Excuse me, okay.
functions. Okay, Arjun. Speak.
Yes, I have a doubt. So, like the students fill the preference from form, like in which they choose the companies this in the order,
And
right?
ah,
So, let's suppose a student gets selected in day one, and but the
okay.
preference he gave for a company is coming on some other day.
No,
So,
so the form is like that. If day one is there, so you will fill its preference form or day before itself. So for day two, you will fill another preference form, right? So it will not create any problem. Got it?
The
okay,
preference
so like
form
every
is
student
day
will,
wise or slot? Sorry,
Please
are the
ask one
preference
question.
forms day wise or slot wise?
Uh, on the first day, it's day wise and then it's slot wise. On the first day, for 1.1 and 1.2, it's full day, one preference form. And then after it, it goes slot wise. For 2.1, it's different preference form. 2.2, it's different preference form.
oh,
Got it? Sankal, what was your question?
no, nothing. Got it. Yes, thanks.
Okay, got it, right? Okay, so for Skynet, like those who all will be, if an APC is in Skynet team, they had to talk and take sessions from the Skynet team itself. Like the developers from Skynet gives you session, and then you have to learn the whole software in 4 to 5 days. You and your team then teach the whole software to your co-APCs, and from them you will then take sessions for ICs also. So basically the Skynet team, if it's consists of 4 to 5 people, then they teach their co-APCs. First they teach themselves, then their co-APCs, then the whole IC team also, right? Because everyone should be reliable, and if some IC doesn't use Skynet, so every IC having the will have the issues. Because if someone is gone into interview and he is not marked in interview, then everybody will see that he is free, and they will also call him like, please come for the interview, but he is actually in the interview. So every IC has to know it. And whose responsibility is this? So Skynet team's responsibility is this, to teach everyone Skynet how to use it. So like you will always be, you'll face, definitely face some bugs in Skynet. Everywhere the bugs are there, and some bugs they resolve. So you will get in touch with their technical team, as well as everyone from their team, like 4 to 5 people will be in contact with you, and they'll coordinate with you that if you are facing any problem, or you can't create shortlist or something, any problem you're technical problem you're facing will be solved. Okay, any more doubts?
Hi Yogesh, I have a doubt.
Right.
So, like for companies coming on day one to day four, they
Okay.
usually JAP opens around October.
Okay.
So the test happens in October, and all the PPTs happens in October.
Ah,
And the shortlist should also be coming in around October also. Na? So why the shortlists are coming around day one and day two, like after
no, sometimes it's
starting
like
October?
that. Shortlist had come, but sometimes IRF is not filled. IRF is what interview requirement form. So if the company has not told you that how much time my single interview will go on, and also how many panels will come. Like if my company is there, I have given you shortlist in October itself, but I have not told you how many interviewers will come. One interviewer or 5 interviewers, right? So it will create a problem for me. How will I schedule the interviews? Like I can send 5 people in your company at a single time, or one people, right? So that is important. Mostly shortlists are sorted, like we will definitely get the shortlist, but sometimes for day 4, day 5 companies, the shortlist is also late. Some companies take the test in around November 25, and then they send the shortlist around 1st, 2nd, 3rd December. So that's where we face problem. And most of the problems is faced due to IRFs only. Like they don't tell how many people will come to take interviews. They also increase the number of people at last, or some remove the panels at last on the day itself. Like we don't have this much people available, so we will cut short on the panels, or we'll increase the panels here to get it early, like that. Got it?
Hmm. So you were talking about that day two thing, then
Okay.
where there was a problem where like half an hour before the shortlist or something came,
Yes,
and you were
yes.
not able to do. So what was that?
So for day 2.1, actually the problem we faced was not all IRS were available, and also the data uploading we faced some problems. So basically that problem was due to some company's name, basically some company's name, and also due to some company's IRF. So if you feed us, like we have to feed the data into Skynet through Excel files, right? So if the Excel file contains a character which the Skynet software doesn't support, then it throws out an error to you. So to solve that error, you don't actually know which line has the error. So you have to debug and clean whole data. You have to clean all data in each company, in each slot. You have to clean the whole data. Who is sitting for this company? Who is shortlist for this company? And it should not contain unknown symbols and all. If it contains unknown symbols and all, the software rejected. So we couldn't get what error was coming actually, and also all IRS were not filled. So that's why in that slot it didn't work.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Also, one of the problems also faced were as a company was GEC was a company. So it had like the APC handling it didn't know at prior how many panels will be needed for such a big shortlist. They had a long shortlist, around I don't know, more than 50 people. So to accommodate that much interviews in an 8 hour slot, it was not possible for them. And then the interviews for that company extended 3 to 4 hours, 3 hours I think, more than 3 hours. So it went out of slot in the night till like 2, they were taking interviews. So for that purpose, we need prior information from the company, that who all are coming and what are the timings for your one round of interview.
Okay, I have a question since you mentioned this. That the company went on 3 hours longer than it should have. So what happens in this scenario with regards to the student's placement? If he's already gotten an offer from some other company and his
Okay.
interview is still about to happen here, so like what goes on there?
Okay, for this, like if he's sitting, if he has got an offer, he will not know that he has got an offer. But if he has an interview in a company which whose process is scheduled later onwards, like 2 hours late, so if the company's process is not done till yet, the offers will be not be released from the placement office. He will not know that he has got an offer. He have to get an interview in that company. Like if all companies of a slot are finished, then only the offers are released. Most of the time, the cases like this.
So all of the companies have to finish the whole interview process.
What?
All of the companies in that particular slot have to finish the interview process for the offers to be unveiled to the students. Is that
Ah,
the
yes, 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 yes. Mostly it gets completed. It's a rare case if it's not completed. And if it's a more rare case, then it's on you, like your team. You placement offer decides if they have to release offer, they release it. But mostly they don't because it will definitely get chaotic among students if they don't get if they get someone gets an offer and he is still having an interview in 1 hour. Mostly the offers are released 2 to 3 hours after the slot only, not just after the slot, because they have to be compiled. Everyone has to be given their preferred company. So majorly it goes on like the process ends. Okay, any more doubts regarding Skynet team or INC team? Anything like the team's work is mostly covered. This was all which I had to tell you. Mostly in the previous groundworks, everything was told to you. I think logistics and all. Anybody has a question?
Could you go over the INC recruitment once more?
Can I can't hear you? Please, can you repeat?
Could you go over INC recruitment once more in brief?
Okay, INC recruitment process, right?
Yeah.
So in deep, it was like creating a Google form for all, then floating it in the whole institute, then again reminding people that please fill the form. It's mostly done by the placement office. No need to take care of that. Also, then after this, select people from based on their SOPs, and then if people are selected, assign the INCs to each APC. Then after assigning, tell each APC that please have a meeting with your INCs or please meet them. If required, you can also select less INCs this year. If we had a good retention, we don't need 15 INCs on each APC. We can also get our work done in 10 INCs also. But it's 15 because people don't get retained. They actually leave. They just take it for PORs and then they don't know that they have to do work and all. So they leave. So this is basically all in recruitment. Not much. Like it's an easier team. Don't have to worry much in INC recruitment. Is it clear?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, guys, and I recommend you that please take take personal groundworks from all the APCs if they are available, if they give you time, because it will give you more insights and more which you can't get in groundworks. You will get more doubts, and also read the policy because you will be asked questions based on policies in your interview. Also, please prepare your motivation properly. Like, what is your motivation for becoming APC? You will be grinded in the interview for the motivation the most, because if you are not clear why you are going there, so they will definitely grind you on that, right? So that was all. If you have any doubts, you can ask or you can leave the meeting. Also, you can take personal groundworks for all the APC. That was one of the recommendations. Thank you so much for your time, guys. Hope I have not taken much of it.
Thanks, Yogesh.
Okay, thank you so much. I think no one has.
Thanks a lot, Yogesh, for the